instant Sunday night classic at Levi Stadium. The Bears are out of the number 1 seed race. The 49ers very much in this. Now they only have to beat Seattle next week at home, and they will have home field advantage, a bye week, and the NFC's number 1 seed. We just saw a game for the ages, Matt.
It was absolutely epic. And, you know, you kind of had the feeling that you had to cash in with touchdowns. And the 49ers defense didn't do a whole lot in this game, but they came up with the big stop at the very end, and maybe even more so, holding the Bears to a field goal there that enabled the 49ers to go down and take the lead late.
To steal a line from the late, great Howard Cosell, what a football game that turned out to be. And Matt, you're 100% correct. Those late Niner blitzes on 2nd and 3rd down in that game, that's what helped win it for the Niners, because they were not getting home in the traditional sense. They were not getting there with the safety blitzes. Robert Saleh calling those all-out blitzes and making Caleb Williams think and move. That was the game winner for the Niners.
Anyone want to see a replay of that in the playoffs?
Do we have enough time?
Can we have round 2 in the playoffs of
You know what, actually, I don't know if I want to see that again.
All right, we got overreaction time here at 49ers Postgame Live, brought to you by Toyota. The social media sphere is dying with this game. Brock Purdy again, 5 touchdowns, this time 3 through the air, 2 with the legs. It was like Rocky and Apollo out there. It was like Brady and Manning. Listen, this game, I'm fatigued, Matt, just watching this.
I'm fatigued watching you watch it.
Listen, I get into this stuff, man. I'm out of words because so many things were said about the run defense, how the 49ers can stop the run. It was the passing game on both sides that decided this outcome of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers really got the running game going, and the Bears got their running game going too. And just the way this game started in the worst possible fashion for the 49ers. Brock Purdy's first drop back is a pick 6, but that wasn't even the worst part of it. The worst part of it was they lost Trent Williams for the game with a hamstring injury. Austin Pleasant steps in, does a decent job, does a really good job in order for the 49ers to go and score 42 points. So the passing game was working. Brock Purdy was spreading it around. He was improvising. He orchestrated a phenomenal offensive effort.
He runs around out there like an old school point guard, Brock Purdy, where he gets everybody involved, and then when he gets everybody involved, that's when he calls his own number. So he gets Tonjes involved. He gets Bourne involved. He gets Jennings involved. He gets McCaffrey, obviously, all of those guys involved, and then he calls his own number. Maybe a little bit too close for comfort there a couple of times, but Brock Purdy right now is playing the quarterback position as well as anybody in the league at this point.
Let's check out the winning drive for the San Francisco 49ers on this immortal game.
For the right time to call it, and he dialed it up at the perfect time. The only question at this point was, and Rod, you screamed it in my ear, did they score too soon? And as it turned out, they didn't.
They did not.
Barely. All right, let's go to the winning stop now, because what we didn't see in this game, many was stops for either team. It ended for the 49ers and for this season, Matt.
Well, I mean, it keeps their hopes for a number 1 seed available and right there for them. I mean, we talked about how they had to do their part after the Seattle Seahawks beat the Panthers, and now it comes down to this. Week 18, Levi Stadium. If the 49ers win this game at Levi Stadium, they'll never have to play another football game this season outside of Levi Stadium. So it's huge. Is it something that they can build on confidence-wise? I don't know. You know, they just don't have the horses on defense without Fred Warner and without Nick Bosa. But now it does kind of kick the can down the road a little bit for the potential that Warner will be back.
But the thing is, and while the Niners have defensive issues, especially in coverage, it's emblematic of who they are. I mean, they are bend but don't break. Now, they were bent to the nth degree today, but eventually they find a way to make plays. And I do think it stems from the fact that you have Robert Saleh calling timely blitzes, calling timely play calls, and there's enough guys out there to make plays. And you know, they have so many mistakes. They make so many mistakes on their defense, but because they're so good offensively, they're not killer mistakes. So it's not an optimal formula, but if you only have to play 2 games to get to the Super Bowl, it might be a formula that can work for you in the short term.
And not just that, but also if you can get an extra week to get that hamstring from Trent Williams healthy. If he can't play next week, if you can avoid that wild card round for Trent and others, that's much more significant. All right, we go back out to Levi Stadium. We got Jennifer Lee Chan and Laura Britt. Plus, we got some info on the game. Ladies?
Yeah, Carlos, it's hard to know what to start with first in this game. This game had it all. That's what Sunday Night Football brings, right? The Bears, the Niners, both in the playoffs, both fighting for seeding in the NFC, and the 49ers now holding and trying to earn their right to that #1 spot in the NFC. They'll have the chance next week against the Seahawks, but we got to talk about tonight's game. The 49ers offense, 42 points again tonight. 5 total touchdowns for quarterback Brock Purdy. But you go back to the very start of this game, and the Bears defense did what they've done all season long, and that's grab interceptions. Brock Purdy picked off to start the game. TJ Edwards returning that for a touchdown. So it didn't look good early for the 49ers. Honestly, it didn't look good late for the 49ers either, because the Bears are so good at coming back in NFL games. They are better than any other team in the entire National Football League as far as coming back in games. But let's start with the offense. Christian McCaffrey, Ricky Pearsall, Brock Purdy spreading the ball around today.
I mean, just like we talked about in pregame, Laura, rely on Christian McCaffrey, who had such a huge game. And then Ricky Pearsall coming back from that PCL injury, went down early in the game, and I didn't know whether he was going to come back. It looked really scary, but he adjusted himself, went back, top receiver. Brock Purdy spread the ball out to 8 different guys as receivers, and then also did what no one's done before in the first quarter: pick 6, passing touchdown, and rushing touchdown. Part of that you don't necessarily want, but still a great performance by Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think he'd like to lose that pick 6. 5 total touchdowns for Brock Purdy, as you mentioned, 2 on the ground, 3 through the air. Also, the 49ers, without Trent Williams for the majority of this game, he left in the first quarter with a hamstring injury, did not return. Of course, no George Kittle with the ankle injury as well. So the offense still able to hum tonight despite the lack of those 2 players.
I mean, that was what was so impressive. Kyle Shanahan, again, as Brock Purdy says, in his bag, all different kinds of rushing options, and you can't give enough credit to Brock Purdy and how he's able to extend the plays, because he's feeling so much healthy since that toe turf injury has gotten better. I mean, you can see his confidence, the swagger that he has out there. I know that the team really enjoys it.
Well, let's talk a little defense, because as you guys know, all season long, pretty much, the Niners have been without Fred Warner for a majority of the season, without Nick Bosa for a majority of the season, and people are wondering, how do they keep doing it? And late in this game, it certainly seemed almost impossible. The 49ers defense believes. They continue to believe, and they made a big stop against a Bears team that knows what they're doing late in games.
And it's been up and down. They've had penalties. They've had great plays. They've had just inconsistencies. But the fact that they held on at the end, it looked like the Chicago Bears were going to come back, and they were able to stop them, which is not what a lot of teams in the NFL have been able to do this year against the Bears.
42 points again for the 49ers offense tonight as they beat the Bears and now control their own destiny as far as seeding goes. A big matchup right back here next week at Levi Stadium against the Seahawks, guys.
Laura, I hope everybody took their blood pressure medicine tonight.
Let's hope so.
Ladies, we did. Great job as always. Before we go to the QB comp, remember, breaking news, the 49ers' final game of the season will be next Saturday, 5 p.m. Saturday, 5 p.m. We'll be here on the air Saturday at 4 p.m. for 49ers pregame live. All right, the #1 overall pick versus the 262. Guess what? What a game. Rod, you first. Did Brock outplay Caleb, or do we say tie?
What? Yeah, man. Come on.
Oh, no, I'm just asking.
Yes. No, he 100% outplayed him.
Offense in the first half for the first time since 2022, when, you know what, Brock made his debut against Tom Brady. Is this the best offense in the NFL right now? They put up 90 points in the past 2 weeks, 127 in the past 3 games. Are they right now the best offense in the National Football League?
They very well might be. And I think it's easy to make an argument that they are. And you know, this season is different. I think we've always kind of associated Super Bowl teams with great defenses. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure you need that this season. I think with this offense playing as well as it is, I think the way the NFL is set up and just the parity in the NFL, I think the 49ers, or a team that uses this formula, is fully capable of running the table, put up a lot of points, and get just enough defensive stops to win games.
I think there were iterations of the Niners where if they had the pressure that this team has, where they're going to have to score because of, inefficiencies on the defense, I think that they would have crumbled under the pressure. With Brock Purdy playing the way that he's playing right now, with just a freedom of a guy who physically can do all the things he needs to do, has a full grasp of the offense, and he's been around the block a time or two. So when you have your quarterback in full playing the way he's playing, to me it just seems like that this is an offense where no matter the situation, they know they could get themselves in a position to at least score a touchdown. If they have to kick a field goal, they're fine with it, although they'll see that as a defeat. I don't think that there's any defense the Niners look at and go, no, we can't put up points against them.
All right, we'll see what happens. But now the 49ers will face Saturday the Seahawks at home at